Chapman, and I create audio experiences. Right now what I'm busy doing is I am adding a piano layer to some of this orchestral composition suite. So basically how it works, the green layer is the narration that I've been provided. Sounds like this.
Dominic, Nix, and Shelby flitted about their chamber, gathering items and shoving them into their packs.
Cool. So there's some sound effects in there later on, and then everything else basically is composition. So we've got virtual instruments here, we've got a piano, we've got string section, brass section, winds, percussion, all sorts of things. So yeah, I've created this little mini sort of section to accompany the introduction. Give it a listen without the narration.
Dominic, Nix, and Shelby flitted.
It's an oboe. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Brass. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I thought those instruments could work nicely as a sort of lead-in to a more piano-based piece. So to layer the piano, that's what I'm doing now. Let's give it a bash. I'll need the click. Okay, let's turn the click up a little bit. Can't hear it. There we go. So I'll give it 2 bars. 2, 3, 4, and make sure piano is enabled. There we go. And we're recording. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got snookered by my own timing. Let's try it again. And also I hit that a bit heavy. Let's come to 2 bars. 2, 4. Well, it's an idea. So the piano part climbs in octaves. There's the low octave, here's the medium one, and then there's the high one, while everything else drops in octaves. So I'm going to see if I can get that to work. Generally, high parts like this take away from dialogue, so it's hard to get that right. But maybe if I just really drop the velocity down, I can get that to work. Okay, here we go. I also want to lose that initial piano sound. Let's just start off I can drop this volume. The overall volume is a bit too high, so I'm going to layer that, take that down, and then I'll add a marker there to be able to quickly flick between sections. Okay, here we go. Let's also, while we're here, take the overall velocity. Oh, you can't actually take it much down. Well, I've got the actual piano itself, so what I can do is I can just lower the dynamic range, and I'm also going to give it much more reverb than a normal piano. Size big. Okay, let's take it back. 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and tap off. 4. 4 and 1. Need a bit more velocity on that piano, and we need to bring this back slightly. Take that up a little bit. See how that sounds again. Cool. It's a little out of tune, and also the timing is not perfect, but I like it for both of those reasons. So let's leave the piano as is, and I'm going to cheat a bit. This is about breaking rules. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the strings as an added layer after they play. So they do their feature play, which is their main kind of introduction to the cue, and then I'm going to just layer them really gently with some low fifths like this. I'm still in pizzicato, which means I've got to change the articulation. Let's do that up here. Cool, so volume down. Articulation, that should have triggered the pizzicato, good. And now I'm going to do it an octave above the trombone and tuba. And I've lost my articulation again. Back up to F0, and while we're at it, I'm just going to record that. Wait, this I can't see what's going on. One, there we go. U. Report, there we go. Okay, that's fine, and now we want to 4. There. Now I've added the articulation. What do they call it? Added the articulation MIDI key switch. Right. So this is obviously jumping around. I'm not going to spend too much time explaining this. This is not really a tutorial. It's just me showing my work and basically a little bit of orchestral composition and how it works. Now I've got an issue. Yeah, so MIDI overdub has to be on so that I can trigger it from here. Okay, let's try it again. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Snookered by my own timing again. The cool thing is, like, when you write something and then you're like, oh wait, I got tricked by my own whatever I wrote, which is stimulating to me. I like hearing music where I don't know what's going to happen next, but still conforms to, like, you know, the pleasurable sort of tropes and stereotypes. Go. Way too loud. And we're going to come down with the velocity. And we're also going to come down with the overall volume, which I learned a cool trick here recently. I usually leave volume automation to last, but for now, I'm just going to jump ahead. As we do, jumping around. Where am I? Nope, there we go. Cool, boom, boom. So this section here, I want to split it with with S, and then loop it and just drop the volume for that second half. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. 3 and 4. Okay, we've got a swell at the end, which is nice. So I'm going to just add that there. Okay, and then we can reflect the swell in the key, in the volume for the strings. There we go, that sounds quite nice. Good. Now we do it with narration. Here we go.
Dominic, Nix, and Shelby flitted about their chamber, gathering items and shoving them into their packs. Dominic sat amidst his thrown-about book collection and tried to stuff one more into his leather case. Nix was carefully filing folders and documents away into a briefcase, while Shelby shoved items into her pack as quickly and as recklessly as she could. Kalen stood by the door, his already packed bag by his feet.
Are you ready?
Ready? Not even close. I only have room for one more book, and I have to decide.
Okay, so I've got an issue here, which is the timing of the narration. I'm going to have to speed this up. The tone is nice. I always think of the Shire, you know, the pleasant kind of, you get these kind of... those type of movements, which are pentatonic, major pentatonic in nature. Reminiscent of, you know, European folk music mainly, so that's a good tone to set. But now Dominic, the character, starts talking in the middle of this swell.
Ready? Not even close. I only have room for one more book, and I have to...
So what I want to do, which is a little trick I've learned, first what I've done is I've separated the narration from the keyboard, from the tempo track. So right now we're running at 140 BPM. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ignore the background music. I'm going to take that up to 160 and see what it does to the audio, so that everything can be compacted. Watch what happens to the MIDI clips now. Boom. They actually come down in size, but the narration should be unaffected. We shouldn't have a speed increase in the speaking.
Dominic, Nix, and Shelby flitted about their chamber, gathering items and shoving them into their packs.
3 and 4 and 1
Dominic
and
sat
2
amidst his
and
thrown
3
about book
and
collection
4
and tried to stuff one more into his leather
and
case.
4 and
Nix was carefully filing folders and documents away into a briefcase,
1 and 2
while Shelby shoved items into her pack as quickly and as recklessly as she could. Kalen stood by the door, his already packed bag by his feet.
Are you ready?
Okay, then that gives us a little bit of breathing room before the characters start speaking. So there's a difference between the narration, like a narrator speaking, and the character's dialogue. It's more acceptable to have music under the narration because that's the kind of setup. That's like having someone read you a story. But when the characters themselves are speaking, you're kind of drawn into that story, and so you want the music to take a step back for that section. So that's kind of how I think about it. Now that gives us a little pause.
Kalen,
here, right?
she could. Kalen stood by the door,
3, 4.
his already packed bag by his feet.
Maybe time.
Are you ready?
So good. Now we've got a long-ish scene which goes to
Shelby, documents.
All in Nix's case,
all
bot.
the way to here. So I've got a scene which lasts. Let's see what the time readout is. Doesn't actually give me the time. Sorry, my voice is a bit loud there. Length. Okay, so it's a 2-minute scene, which is fairly long in audio terms. What I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to try and set up a loop just so that I can play along and not have to create original stuff for the entire 2 minutes. What I could also do is just backtrack and grab something that I've already done. For example, let's just listen back here to a previous episode.
Isn't it?
I've got header markers here: tense, scene change, king's chamber. These all give me ideas of what mood I was trying to create, and also mark the time at which the cue must start. So what I'm looking for now, because I'm feeling lazy, is I am looking for something that sounds positive and warm, not maybe a bit funny, but more just like this kind of casual preparation for a journey. Let's see how this sounds.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Very loud, sorry about that. Let's take the master volume down. I've got everything cranked up.
Daniel Radcliffe, Tom Hiddleston, and James McAvoy.
That's more funny, that kind of flute pizzicato vibe. Not really what I'm looking for. Flashback dark, definitely not. Flashback.
Correct?
Yes?
Let's kill
Who
the
is it?
narration.
It's the police.
Nothing playing there. Why not? Nothing. All right. So I've got issues there. Don't have time to figure that out. So the thing about having these gigantic projects which span like an entire orchestra as well as multiple episodes, and on top of it all, I'm learning on the job. This is my first major project, or first major independent project, using all of these new software instruments I've bought. So I'm learning while I'm doing it. Let's see if I can find something from like episode 5 here. Plodding along. That sounds good. Articulation here. Doesn't sound good at all. A bit too sort of tense. This is the one. Okay, this is what I have to. Okay, so I've noticed it's at 60 BPM, all of this stuff. Let's do this. Yeah, this is good. Okay. So I'm going to take this cue that I've written. I'm going to just basically grab all of the MIDI data from 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, I'm going to try and fit that into what I've done. Another reason it's good to occasionally do this and be lazy is because you don't want to be creating themes over themes over themes over themes over themes forever. You want to reuse music when you're writing for a series because people like what's familiar. The ear tends to go, whether you consciously or not, your ear tends to gravitate towards things you've heard before. This is the great secret behind pop music. You don't have to make it very outstandingly good. You just have to make sure it's on repeat, and eventually your brain says, hey, this sounds great, because the familiar is more pleasing than the unfamiliar. So all of that aside, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to adjust this to this section here, casual prep, right? Volume up again. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's it. And at this point I want, okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create one massive giant selection of MIDI clips here so that it's all synced up nicely. Second thing I'm going to do is I have to now change the tempo, otherwise it's going to be too fast. That's not really the tempo I was going for. The original tempo that I stole the section from was at 60 BPM, and now we're running at 140, so I'm going to have to change down to 60 BPM here. Very easy, just change that to 60, and now we've got the potential to start this new track. I'm also going to group them all, makes them all behave. Oh shit, what have I done? Yeah, there you go. So it makes them all behave like one clip when you group them. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, that's good, except too loud. Yeah, we've got these massive red. What I'm doing is navigating towards the treble section. So I'm having problems with my navigational stuff. Not going to get into that now. Okay, let's add a marker here and go. 2, 1. That's better. Now let's add some piano. I'd like to use this piano more. I've just got a bunch of new piano sounds. Nice, clean modulation. Take my volume up. And now it should actually sound nice. Why don't we mute the brass? That low brass is going to cause trouble. Oh, it's not brass, it's actually a bassoon. Okay, this is a funny chord progression. Trouble locating this note. It's a dim. I get like so excited about these silly little things like how to go from a D to its peak. That's just not the mood I'm trying to create. Let's just play it out. So I'm gonna loop this section here. 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3. I guess the first step is to put the narration back on and see if it suits the tone.
I only have room for one more book.
Yes, it does. So this character's being funny. He's trying to collect all his books. He's an academic. So there's a little bit of room for humor here. So I'm going to actually call this cue funny so that I can use it again in future.
Already packed bag by his feet.
Oh,
Are you ready?
Ready? Not even close.
I don't like this kind of bass kind of thing. I'm going to do a...
Already packed bag by his feet.
Let's do it up here.
Are you ready?
Ready? Not even close. I only have room for one more book.
packed bag by his feet.
Are you ready?
Ready? Not even close. I only have room for one more book, and I have to decide between a...
Already packed bag
Okay, not
by his feet.
Here we go.
Are you ready?
And at this point, you realize that you've got to move
Already
on. So I'm going to move on.
Already packed bag by his feet.
Are you ready?
Ready? Not even close. I only have room for one more book, and I have to decide between a collective history of human artifacts and to be or not to be.
Okay, a little intro from the
Are you
piano
ready?
there.
Ready? Not even close. I only have...
Okay. That's gonna work, okay.
book, and I...
Take it back to the marker and... Well, marker.
Already packed bag by his feet.
Are you ready?
Ready? Not even close. I only have room for one more book, and I have to decide between a collective history of human artifacts and
Okay, and here we are.
to be or not to be varies in the mortal realm. This is truly...
Alright, sounds like we're hitting that cello a little bit hard for my liking. Let's bring it down that velocity. Okay, no, I don't want to delete it. Bring it down.
Collective history of human artifacts and to be or not to be varies in the mortal realm. This
Now we're going to repeat the piano at a higher octave.
collective history of human artifacts and to be...
Turn the narration off, it's just annoying. Oh. Da, da, 2, 3. Okay, and then we bring that part back in. Okay. Two problems. One is the strings are blaring. We'll come to that. First problem was the tuba is coming in way too hot. Let's take that going on. Wow, what is it with all of these like redlining velocities? Okay, try it again. Nice gentle sound, piano. 4, 1. Okay, this tuba doesn't work. I think it's not the tuba, it's this. I don't know why it's coming in there. It's not what I want. Oh, it's here. Contrabass solo. Kill it. Next. Strings too hot, no problem. Just take the ensemble. Let me guess, they're all red. Yeah, there we go. So I grabbed this from a previous episode, which I made months ago. And so just in the intervening months, I've already learned how to get a lot better at these dynamic stuff. This dynamic stuff. Just bring it down there. And here we go. No, that's not right. It's this part here. But I would have had to do that anyway. You guys, please. Okay, there's something wrong with this. Is it this part? 1, 2, 3. Yes, it is. Okay, first thing, the velocity is way too high. Do, 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 do. 1. Okay, and I also think there's, what is up with the articulation? Where are my instrumentos, yo? Where's everything gone? Where's my instruments gone? I think I've reset the layout. There we go, that's better. No, 2. There you go, cool. You can't see what's happening on the other screen, but things are changing. Okay, what I need to do now is hunt into the weeds. If you're watching, this is going to be boring for a minute. I'm trying to find the correct weakness down, bring the attack up. You really like this work is really all in the lower ranges, the lower ranges of velocity and modulation and all that stuff. That'll do. I think there's some complex modulations going on here that I don't have time to really... Okay, let's go back to the narration and see how that's doing. All we need is enough to...
How many arrows do I... Collective history of human artifacts and to be...
Why is that so loud? Let me guess. It's a red line.
Book, and I have...
Oh, that's horrible. Let's just do a little swell there. Okay.
Book, and I...
Take it back.
Already packed bag by his feet.
Okay, let's actually do it from the start of the episode. Spoiler alert, if you're into arson, you're going to hear one of the upcoming episodes now.
Dominic, Nix, and
That's the intro. Okay, kill that. I'm sitting back.
Dominic, Nix, and Shelby flitted about their chamber, gathering items and shoving them into their packs. Dominic sat amidst his thrown-about book collection and tried to stuff one more into his leather case. Nix was carefully filing folders and documents away into a briefcase, while Shelby shoved items into her pack as quickly and as recklessly as she could. Kalen stood by the door, his already packed bag by his feet.
Are you ready?
Ready? Not even close. I only have room for one more book, and I have to decide between a collective history of human artifacts and to be or not to be, fairies in the mortal realm. This is truly an impossible decision, and I resent you for forcing me to make it.
How many arrows do I need? Can I get replacements there, or do I only have what I can take?
I'm sure you can get replacements.
I'll bring them all.
You're all being so picky. Just pack the essentials. It's not that difficult.
Says the woman who packed 15 daggers.
They're essential.
This will be a challenge. I'm not going to lie to you all. But it is the kind of challenge that makes us better warriors, better guards. This is the type of assignment most members dream about but never see. This is a chance to do something so important, not only for Orally, but for the entirety of Lefresia. I, for one, am humbled to be chosen for this quest, and I am honored to serve the king alongside you.
Yeah, that's all well and good, Kalen.
Where did that come from? Okay. We got a marker here, but I'm happy with most of that. There's some nice moments where the music lines up with what's going on, which is the point of it all. Now we've got this, what looks like the second half of this cue. Let's just hear it through, no narration. Oof, that is pain. You are making me feel pain now. Just still pain. Wow, is that ever the wrong choice of instrument? Let us try and... Is it this? No, it's not. Where's Brahm? Oh, here's Brahm. So the ensemble possibly can just be deleted. Just muted. Let's try it again. That's nicer, eh? You know what? I'm just gonna jump in the pan here and play it back with narration. Let's see how it lines up.
Side you.
Yeah, that's all well and good, Kalen, but that doesn't help me choose which book to bring.
I have room in my pack, Dominic. I'll carry the one that doesn't fit yours.
Talk about leadership qualities.
Okay, I think we're ready to go.
Earth.
Yep.
We're really going.
Yep.
Meet at the bridge in 30 minutes. Dom, did you gather the currency?
Got it.
Shelby, documents.
All in Nix's case, boss.
Nix, how many inhalators did you get?
3 each plus 1 for safety. Enough for a long time, should we need it.
Good work, team. I think we're good to go. I will,
That's better.
I'll make sure Orally is ready.
Oh, you will you? You'll make sure Orally is ready.
That's my job. Shelby.
Okay, I think we've lost the feeling now. It worked kind of well up till there, but let's...
Orally is ready.
Oh,
At this point, we've got a change in mood. One of the characters is accusing another one lightheartedly of being in love with another character, so we can't have heroic music in the background.
Time, should we need it.
Good work, team. I think we're good to go. I will, I'll make sure Orally is ready.
oh, you will you? You'll make sure Orally is ready.
In fact, I could fade this out a lot
My
quicker.
bad,
Yeah, this is way too much for this section. What I'm gonna do
Yeah, that's all
is-
well and good, Kalen, but that doesn't help me choose which book to bring.
I have room in my pack, Dominic. I'll carry the one that doesn't fit yours.
Oh, okay, that explains basically everything. I've had the volume automation cranked down 20 dB. That's why I've had to crank up the orchestra's volume level. Let's try it again.
But that doesn't help me choose which book to bring.
I have room in my pack, Dominic. I'll carry the
No, we've already lost it there.
beside you.
Okay, so why don't we
I,
just...
for one, am humbled to be chosen for this quest,
Let's end it here.
and I am honored to serve the king alongside you.
There, that's good.
Yeah, that's all well and good, Kalen, but that doesn't help me choose which book to bring.
Yeah, and that's going to be the end
Really
of that.
going.
And that's going to be the end
Nix,
of that.
how many inhalators did you get?
3 each plus 1 for safety. Enough for a long time, should we need it.
Good work, team. I think we're good to go. I will, I'll make sure Orally is ready.
Oh, you will you?
Okay.
I'll see you all soon. Don't be late.
I've never seen him like his job so much before.
That's
What do you mean?
betrayal.
Kalen is always serious about his job.
Come on.
Pretty
And then they
obvious.
talk about that.
What am I missing?
Okay, this is where the one guy doesn't know that what's going on.
Man, Kalen has a crush?
Okay, Kaelin has a crush. Let's now find... I've got pre-made transitions. I've got pre-made transitions. Oops, let's go not published. It's called Cinematic Fantasy. And now I'm going to... Let's just add these to a folder called Exported. Or call it, maybe just go ahead and call it WAV 2448. Good to know I'm working in 44.1 and I have to name these all. Okay, what are these called? Here's some transitions coming at you. Transitions are short pieces. Okay, 3. There's some short transitions there. So
How
think
did I not see that?
number 3 is the best. Okay, so now this is cool because I've done the work already. So let's just bring it in. Stray stem, stray stem, stray stem. We actually want one of these to be duplicated, but also one thing that would be cool is if you could duplicate something and immediately delete all of the contents of that channel, so you don't have to redo your routing. There you go. I'm just gonna call it just stem, just audio stem, so that I can put anything in it. And Cool. Sorry, I'm kind of yabbering to myself here, but what I'm trying to do is bridge the gap between. They've got the director has a
And I am honored to serve.
request to add a transition here at 5 minutes. So I'm going to do that.
And I am honored to serve the king alongside you.
Yeah, that's all like.
Wrong place. It's here.
How did I not see that? How did I not see that?
Closing the chapter.
Kalen had left
Perfect. Great. Next.
Orly at his home to relax until the travel arrangements were done. At first, she protested, but eventually she gave in, thankful for the moment of silence.
Dear diary.
I was playing along with
I'm
Oh,
going.
no, we've got a diary entry before. What did I use for diary music? Let's go back in time to... Let's go back to previous episodes where I can find a white marker called diary. Is it possible to search... AE, king approaches, da-da-da, they've adapted, started pacing. What did you say? Flashback diary, here it is.
Or elbow room here anyway.
Do I have any...
Oh, that's mine.
If it's David, tell him his rent check is in the mail.
But it's from my hometown.
Sir, Mazis Rathmore of the LGPD. You are Luke and Violetta Sharp's only daughter.
Magic.
Yes. We're secure now.
Charm?
The type of magic that secures a resident's home. It prevents anyone outside the home from hearing what is said inside or entering without the resident's permission.
It's kind of like more of a drone. Just where the heck am I? Oh yes, here we are. So we need diary entry sort of type stuff.
Honored to serve the king alongside you.
Here you go.
Realms. I guess that's pretty lucky.
What about Straylight? Have we got Straylight open?
To make you fall in love with how magical it all is.
It reminds me of my parents. I know I didn't even know them when they were here, but
Because
everything
it's
just
serious
seems like
subject
them.
matter.
You know, I never thought that they fit in our small town, and now
So the common theme in this series is fitting in. King approaches is too happy. They've adapted. Started pacing is too much like danger. So what I'm looking for is something like, yeah, maybe I have magic. This kind of sense of wonder, maybe.
Combative magic specialist. Powerful, quick, able to anticipate.
I'm trying to broaden my palette though, so I don't just want to be, doing these like long sort of ambient drone type things. I want it to be appropriate in a cinematic sense, and so I think I'm gonna try this. Okay, let's try this. Okay, I'm gonna just try this. Take these three guys. It's from Violin 1 down. So here we go, all the way over here, and now we're on a Violin 1 layer and paste. Cool. Let's see how this goes. Narration on.
places that are
We want after the there's another transition. that
they're
I'm missing.
here.
So it's that. Now this scene ends.
Rush of magical air. They're here.
Oh no, I've screwed it up. That's a previous transition. Go.
In every warm
Kalen had left Orly at his home to relax until the travel arrangements were done. At first, she protested. Travel arrangements were done. At first, she protested,
Looks like we've lost volume.
but eventually she gave in, thankful for the moment of silence.
Dear diary, I'm going home. Or I'm going back to New York, at least.
Okay, I think I might need to just write something new here. She's right.
She
It's
protested,
not going home. It's
but eventually she
nostalgic.
gave in.
It's a little bit
thankful for the moment of
unsettling.
silence.
Let's try and figure something out.
Dear diary, I'm going home. Or I'm going back to New York, at least.
So with piano and Straylight, which is this breathy wind instrument patch going at the same time. Let's see how it sounds.
She protested, but eventually she gave in, thankful for the moment of silence.
Piano's volume automation level, and it's going to be up over here. Or let's say down over there and up over here. And then we can take the volume all the way up. Not too loud here.
And to be or not.
That's it.
Intermission to attend to.
Right.
Transition.
Kaylin,
So we were in B flat, but let's go to G minor now.
Kaylin had left Orly at his home to relax until the travel arrangements were done.
Straylight's way too loud. Let's take the volume down here. I have a feeling it's not going to work, but let's just try it. Just typical sort of.
Kaylin had
teenage
left
girl
Orly
pop
at his
music
home
chord
to
progressions.
relax until the travel arrangements were done. At first, she protested, but eventually she gave in, thankful for the moment of silence.
Dear Diary.
Okay. So I'm literally just composing and
Kaylin had left Orly at his home to relax until the travel arrangements were done. At
no matter how much you think you don't need it. Ding, ding, ding. Put on a click. I also need this to be unaffected by that. Beats position only will make all of the audio that you import unaffected by tempo changes. So now I'm going to go ding, ding, ding. Let's take it down, just down a little bit to like 82. Oops, not 802. That might cause problems. One thing I want to check out, so you're not allowed to see what I'm shopping for. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Right. Cool. Okay. All right. Never mind the live stream. Obviously had some issues making that happen. I am recording this though, so I'll upload it. Let's get on with it. What I'm trying to do now is write the piano part for this.
Kaylin had left Orly at his home.
Yes, and I have got to put on. Let's put it at 82. Turn the click on.
Kaylin had left.
Nice and spacious, nice and silent.
Kaylin had left Orly at his home to relax until the travel arrangements were done. At first, she protested, but eventually she gave in, thankful for the moment of silence.
Dear Diary. I'm going home. Or I'm going back to New York, at least. I don't really...
There's a little pattern we can loop, maybe.
To relax until the travel arrangements were done. At first,
Okay, we've got RAM issues. Unsurprisingly, I've got a whole lot of stuff running here. Meaning that...
to relax until the travel arrangements were done. At first, she protested, but eventually she gave in, thankful for the moment of silence.
Dear Diary. I'm going home. Or I'm going back to New York, at least.
Okay, I don't really like that very much. Not just the clicking and stuff.
To relax until the travel arrangements were done. At first, she protested, but eventually she gave in, thankful. To relax until the travel arrangements were done. At first,
No, these are both supposed to be chord MIDI overdubs. Thank you.
to relax until the travel arrangements were done. At first, she protested, but eventually she gave in, thankful for the moment of silence.
Dear Diary, I'm going home. Or I'm going back to New York, at least. I don't really know what to call home anymore. I mean, is home Hololight here in Frisia, or is it New York? Ohio hasn't felt like home in a while, but it certainly feels closer to it than Frisia does. Mom and Dad's presence is...
To the D minor, let's go down to an A flat instead. So I'm going to take it from this E flat part and...
felt like home in a while, but it certainly feels closer to it than Frisia does. Mom and Dad's presence.
Same thing again.
Felt like home in a while, but it certainly feels closer to it than Frisia does. Mom and Dad's presence is so strong here. Feel them. Felt like home in a while, but it certainly feels closer to it than Frisia does. Mom and Dad's presence is so strong here. Feel them in every cobblestone road, in every exotic tree, in every warm rush of magical air. Felt like home.
Take it from the second E flat. We want to just repeat that.
I feel them in every cobblestone road, in every exotic tree, in every warm rush of magical air. They're here. So maybe I don't have a home. Maybe I just have places that are special to me, scattered across realms. I guess that's pretty lucky.
Sorry to interrupt, Orly. We are ready to go when you are.
Nice little piano piece there just to bridge the gap.
I feel them in every cobblestone road, in every exotic tree, in every warm rush of magical air. They're here. So strong. Feels closer to it than Frisia does. But Mom and Dad's...
we're going down to the... So it's from the...
feels closer to it than Frisia does.
E flat.
But Mom and Dad's presence is... Mom and Dad's presence is... Mom and Dad's... But Mom and Dad's presence feels closer to it.
D sharp, A sharp, G sharp. We are in... Yeah, this is in D sharp, E flat major.
Feels closer to it than Frisia does.
Flat.
But Mom and Dad's presence is...
That's it.
Mom and Dad's But Mom and Dad's presence is so strong here. I feel them in every cobblestone road, in every exotic tree, in every warm rush of magical air. They're here. Warm rush of magical air.
Oh, not the E flat.
Warm rush of magical air.
It's nice and sustained, but I also just think it's not simple enough.
Warm rush of magical air.
No, that's not right. So E flat.
Every
to
exotic
3,
tree and
4,
every
E
warm
flat,
rush of magical air.
flat. What's wrong with it? I've got B flat.
Warm rush of magical air.
Let's just leave it.
They're here. So maybe I don't have a home. Maybe I just have places that are special to me, scattered across realms.
Let's take this very gentle, very gentle.
I guess that's pretty lucky.
There's a little ender there. That's just a
Lucky.
little flourish to end.
Lucky.
4, 1, 2,
Sorry to interrupt, Orly. We are ready to go when...
Input the notes and boom, boom, boom. Here we are.
I guess that's pretty lucky.
2, 3, 4. A little bit out.
I guess that's pretty lucky.
Nope, still not.
I guess that's pretty lucky.
Sorry to interrupt, Orally.
As quietly as possible, like literally pianissimo.
Lucky.
Sorry to interrupt, Orally.
There you go, and we've this beautiful moment, and then life comes crashing in, and then we get some silence after that.
Orally.
Think I'm going to miss it?
Lafresia has the ability to do that. To make you fall in love with how magical it all is.
It
And
reminds
I
me
think
of
that's
my
about
parents.
it for now. I've got to take a break and do some other stuff. So yeah, I'll upload this a bit later. Thanks for tuning in. This is how I personally make music, and it's published to my channels, which are called How I Make Music, etc., etc. I don't have time to explain it all, but if you're interested, then subscribe and tune in, and you'll see more of this kind of stuff. Cool beans. So